Hey guys, it's Book of Catherine. I hope you're doing well. So, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my health progress. I am really glad I'm filming these. This is why I say to do a video diary. Um, I've been going back through now that I'm posting my dance videos and I have a dance list in Freedom Week. Um, and I think that I'm progressing so fast. I'm watching myself not just walking on the Underground Railroad. I think my first walk was August 28th. Um, and then I've been getting on the stretch machine and I've been watching like what I was able to do from Sail. Sail was my first stretch machine, all the way up through then Freedom Week happened and I really jumped. I jumped so much. If you watch my dance back in June, I'm not able to lift my hands above my head. If you really watch it, I put my hands up, but my elbows don't go past my chest. I kind of lift my hands up, but they don't really go past far my head, very far past my head. I make it look like they go above my head, but if you look, my shoulders don't come up very high. So when you see me putting my arms up above my head, anytime that happens, it's a really big deal. And then here I am on the stretch machine, not just putting my arms above my head. So every time I stretch something out and stretch my shoulders like that, it's a big deal. And put them all the way up and then hang down from that. I hope you noticed that when I did like the intro to some of these things, like the intro to Sailor, the intro to these dance things, I put them on my Insider Health list. When I'm doing the intro to these things, I did the intro to my stretch machine. I said, this is my stretch machine, so I don't freak you out with it. When I said, like, ooh, I try to stretch and put my arms up here and hang, I couldn't barely hang there. I barely lifted my legs up and then I had a drop. But then when I actually did sail, I lifted my legs up forever. And that's the thing. I can now, and then I did it more and more with every video. I was able to do it longer and longer, which means that when the music isn't on, I can actually do it for a little bit longer. Well, here's the thing is that, recently I there's this disconnect that's happening now because I'm watching these videos now and I'm like, oh, watching these videos and I'm like, wow, I'm doing so much. I'm doing so much. Look, I'm actually doing pull-ups. Like my arms are sore from pull-ups. Well, that's gotten me okay with watching other dance videos. And I normally don't watch other dance videos because it gets me. I haven't been watching dance videos for a long time since I got sick. Like once I stopped judging, I when I went downhill, once I really couldn't dance anymore and stopped competing, then I started judging more. Like I used to judge and dance, and then I just judged only, and that was like, and then I started like I did all these things, and then I did boards of directors and everything like that, and I just did everything I could to stay involved or whatever. Um, as I lost mobility, I wasn't aware, like I was just losing all this mobility, if that makes sense. And as that happened, I'm realizing now I really just stopped watching dance videos because if my body couldn't do it, it was just so depressing. And so recently I watched a TikTok video because I was like, oh, I can watch dance videos, right? And I didn't even understand that that's what was happening. And I watched, it was just a TikTok ad. I was like, oh, I'm curious about that. And that's different for some reason in my head than music videos. I don't see that as dancing. I'm not really paying attention to the dancing that's happening. I see it more as like what styles are happening. But this time I like clicked on a TikTok video. Um, and this time I was watching it differently. Maybe that's the difference is that this time, like, I'm watching it as a dance video for the first time, if that makes sense. I'm like actually watching it for that. Like, I haven't been watching Dancing with the Stars. I watch it if my students need me to watch it. Like, I really avoid all of that. Like, as my mobility went down, so did my watching of all of these things that I used to do. And I'm just like, no, I'm not interested. Like, I'll listen to my friends, I'll listen to what they tell me, but I don't want to watch it. I don't want to be, I cannot do it. I cannot handle it. So there's a few things in World of Dance that just like lift my spirits up, but that's it. And And so I watched this TikTok video and I was like, that movement is maybe 100th of what I'm doing like in Despacito. And I know that that would normally probably make you guys excited. It didn't. It made me, one, concerned for the people in the music video. They looked undernourished and they looked atrophied to me. I was very worried because it wasn't just that they weren't doing a lot of choreography, it's that it looked like they couldn't. They literally couldn't actually hold a fist. That concerned me. But the second thing is that I'm like, well, if I'm like, there's something really, really wrong with me. Sorry. My husband's taking a nap because that's what you have to do to survive. I asked him to take a nap. I was like, you're really tired. Hold on. Yeah, so, yeah, he's so great. He's just like, no, I can keep going. And I'm like, really? I really think you need to take a nap. So, but then again, he has to do the same thing with me. He's like, you need to go. I think you need to take, it's just what you do for each other. That's how you fight for one another. That's why I'm saying I'm realizing now why partnering is good. Like, I see why teams are good in life. Like, I understand why teams, because you can catch things in each other much better than you catch it on your own. I wouldn't make it through this half if I didn't have him like catching things for me and stuff like that. Anyway, so basically something's really wrong with me. Like, I'm getting stronger, my arms are getting stronger. If I can do motion like that with the music's on, what happens when the music stops? Like, I crumple to the ground, I can barely walk, the pain just overrides. And I was writing about it on Twitter. I think that it's clear to me that it's becoming more and more clear that there's something wrong neurologically. That's just, and I know I've done a video, I don't know if it's out yet or not, that goes through what we know and what we don't know. And the neurologists are just like, well, you're doing well. To a certain extent, when they can't figure you out, they're just kind of like, well, whatever we're doing is working. You're going on an uphill. And I agree, whatever we're doing is working. I'm uphill, which is why I push it so hard. But there is something really, really wrong when like, why am I crumpling like a cheap suit? Why do I need so much adrenaline to override my neurons and to give it so much like pain relief so that I can actually do some kind of exercises? And from what I can tell, the only thing I can think of is that I'm doing exercises to remap the brain to get motor skills back, like what I lost from scar tissue from a concussion, from brain damage. Like, I must have lost a lot. That's the only thing I can think of. Or there's some kind of disease that I have fighting against me neurologically that we can't find or figure out. There's something really, really wrong. It doesn't make sense. I always feel this force fighting against me as I get better. I feel this other force just pounding against me as I go this way. I feel something fighting back. Like, as I get better and I have Freedom Week, I always know, I'm like, something's gonna come. Something's gonna come. Something's gonna whack. And that's why I say I always feel a clock ticking. Like, tick, 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 tick. There's gonna come something whacking. And it does. And it was like, I remember the night I said it, I was like, I'm getting in as much as I can. I'm doing really well because, man, I'm getting a lot of days in a row. I'm really, really, really and like, bam, the next day, like, wham. And after that, it was like one good day. And then it was 4 days again till another good day. But in all that, like, then I heal, and then you see me get back on there and I'm able to do these great lifts. It's like trying to get better in the midst of this storm that's in my body. Something's really wrong. And I don't know what it is, but it's not normal. Your body isn't supposed to be this strong. You're not supposed to be able to, like, do, lift up your body weight with your arms and heal from that. And then the next way, be able to lift up your arms and lift up your legs further up and string them over a thing and be able to do dances like that. But in between, you can't move and you're not able to walk. Like, it doesn't just gel. Like, why am I holding my legs up at night? Why isn't it carrying through? Why is there's this wasteland in between? Why is it only when this huge shots of adrenaline of music that come on, why is that the only time it works? And hey, I'm able to heal up. Like I do, I recover, and my muscles are getting stronger. Like there is healing going on. It's not like my muscles get weaker. My muscles are healing as we do procedures. I do get better. I do get better. Like I am able to take, my muscles are getting stronger as I do these exercises. They're getting stronger. There is something else. Like there's something else, like something. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's not normal. It's something's broken. Something's really broken. We're so complicated. But I'm looking at it going, 2 years ago, I'm looking at it going, huh? I'm watching my videos with you guys and I filmed a video saying, hey, I stood up. I stood up to film with you. And afterwards, my episodes are increasing. And I was screaming. So I wasn't having really bad episodes before I started this channel. So I started this channel and I started doing things like sitting up to film or standing up to film. And I'm like, that's not normal. It's been 2 years. If it was just episodes from atrophy of my muscles getting used to it, like that should be over by now. I've been filming for 2 years. That's not normal. Something else is going on. And I don't know what it is. They don't know what it is. But I'd like to be able to wear pants again. I'd really like that. I'd like to be able to take a shower again. I'd like to be able to wash the dishes again. And I have one friend. You know how you have friends that are. I have one friend who's so gentle and loving and so healing. And God, it's funny because they're a guy. God, my roughest friends and realizing are girls. How does that work out? How did I flip it? How did that get flipped? I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a woman and we're just harsher to our own. Maybe that's probably what it is. But my girlfriend was like, you need to be patient. Why aren't you being patient? And I can see why I'm not being patient now. After 2 years of this intense pain, is the pain of this healing against this, whatever it is. It's extremely painful. You can see how painful it is doing any kind of exercises against whatever this is. Whatever it is to do exercise against this, it is extreme. It's unbearable, the pain to exercise against this, whatever it is, whatever's wrong with my nerves. It is extremely painful to work against it, to get them strong. But I found a way. We're doing it. And the procedures sure freaking help. But it's just, there's something else going on. And I'm just glad that we're succeeding. I'm just so glad that we're succeeding. I'm so glad that I'm moving up. I'm so glad that I'm not moving down anymore. I'm so glad that I have doctors that are willing to do what it takes with me. I'm so glad that you guys are willing to do what it takes with me. So glad that you're willing to donate your hard-earned money and invest that in me to get stronger, to get my knowledge. I know that I share a lot, but still, it's, I don't, it's not required, and you still do it. And I couldn't get these therapies without you at all. So I guess I just, again, want to say thank you for getting me from laying down on a couch to here I am laying down on a bed. But in between, I now have biceps, which I didn't have before. And tonight, I get to try and dance. And when I dance, I'll dance way stronger than I ever have before. I think because I've been resting. And I don't understand why I have to rest all day. Like today, I posted a lot of videos because I knew I had to rest for tonight. What is that? Why do I have to rest all day? Why do I have to store up energy like a battery in order to go dancing at night? That's just weird, isn't it? I don't understand it. It has to do with this stuff that we're studying, the stuff that's been cut out that we haven't been taught about. Maybe there's stuff we're not taught about. Maybe, I don't know, because modern science doesn't seem able to tell me, and neither does acupuncture, and restorative massage has helped a lot. But everyone seems to be at the end that at least I'm slowly getting better. It just, there doesn't seem to be any answers. But at least we found this narrow path forward, and I'm grateful. But yeah, it's really odd to sit there and look and go like, oh, I'm moving faster and stronger than than these dancers in these videos. Then why am I hanging my legs up at night? What is going on? Why? That doesn't make any sense at all. That means I have the muscle strength. That means the muscle strength, and while there is also the fact that I'm holding onto a cage, it's akin to being in water. All my ability to leverage and hold myself on those bars, that's somewhat akin to being in water. You know, I try to use this bar. Thank you guys so much. I got to get this massage bar, this thing to roll along. I haven't been able to buy equipment in a while, but lately, thank you so much for that. I was able to get like this bar, a massage bar, and I rolled it along my leg, and I was like, oh, there's no muscle to really roll a massage. There's like all these itty bitty knots on this itty bitty thing. I was like, oh, I still have cotton ball legs, but still, it's way more than I used to have, and I can do a lot with that with a partner or with bars. So I kind of use those bars like water. The doctors always said use water. Can't you get in a pool? But the public pools are all poisoned today. Everyone's so scared to tell a parent to get their kid out of the pool, so they all bend their will to the kids that go in with dirty diapers, and so you get sick. Everyone gets sick in the pool. I cannot afford to get sick. I can't get sick. I got sick so much in California. No one. It's the pools are deathly today. Like, that is so unsafe. Any kind of public pool today. Like, sanitation is insane. You can't see through a pool today. No, and so I mean, that's the two things they've said I need to get is like a pool and a walk-in tub, like a walk-in tub. I'm like, even if we raised up the funds to get that, I'm like, who has the time to get all that arranged? Like, I mean, and nearly fall apart calling the internet guy. I am so barely socialized. I've been really nested with my friends and my husband and my cat, and I was able to talk to my neighbor. I'm talking to my neighbors. I'm able to talk to, it's interesting who I can talk to. It's when a lot is riding on it. When you feel like everything's right, when the cost is really high. And then I can't handle that weight bearing load, if that makes sense. If there's no major thing writing on it, there was a lot writing on my internet. There's a lot writing on if they install something wrong in my, you know, in my house. That's my house. Like I can't even begin, I don't know how to explain that. The anxiety or the pressure that's very different than meeting a neighbor. That was meeting neighbors has been like my max load, and that's been a lot for me. I feel really proud. That's very different than going into a store, across the street or whatever. That's very, very different. That's so different. And that was a big thing for me last summer to do. That was my max load back then. This has been my max load this year. I've been slowly growing. But asking someone to cut a hole in your wall, like, yeah, oh God, it just like makes me want to fall asleep thinking about it. Like the amount of anxiety, like the amount of, what do you call it? Energy. Like it starts to short circuit my brain. There's something wrong with my brain. Like maybe I just don't have them. Maybe I lost it. Maybe there's scar tissue there. Used to be so capable. But it just this does this battery thing. Like when I start to calculate it out, when I start to think about typing in the numbers, I can feel it. Like there's blocks in my brain. It starts to just hit this thing, and I start like it just starts. I have a hard. Oh, I can't go there. There must have been something really bad. Maybe I have to get therapy. I think I need to start looking into that, you guys. Because it really feels like that. It really feels like all of this, like tweeting to you guys and all the motion therapy, I feel like all of it has just been like, what is that? Like raising my arms up? Like, why did they stop moving? If they didn't have an injury there, like my physical therapist did a range of motion test, she's like, your range of motion here. So why did it stop moving? Why did it stop moving if it always had a range of motion? I think it had more to do if how it's developing on the stretch machine is going. It's possible that had more to do with my brain and a loss of motion there, and loss of memory or something to do with the neurons. And I'm relearning it and retraining the brain to move that area and get it back and get feeling back there and get motion back there and retrain the neurons in the brain and retrain the tracks. And there you go, I'm losing my speaking again. And I don't think that's muscle. That's something to do with my head, I think. Something something wrong. But I do know the channel helps. I know talking to you guys helps. Like, make it grow, make my brain grow. Some kind of forces it to relearn speaking in full sentences. I used to speak slow, now I speak faster. Isn't it interesting? When I get tired, I speak slower. I'm not on different meds. 2 years ago, meds haven't changed. Pain's gone down with the procedures. Anyway, I love you guys so much. I just letting you know that, yeah, I know something's wrong. And that's the point of video diaries, not that you should post them publicly. I highly, highly urge you not to do so. In fact, just, assume your insurance company is watching. Let's put it that way. Is that really what you want? To lose your insurance? I wouldn't. So keep it private. And yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for all you've done. I love you.